Hello and welcome, beautiful Scorpion shape. I welcome you today to day number 2 or stretching number 2 of my how the hell am I gonna get into my splits? So as I stated before, you want to do these workouts or these stretchings a couple of times a week. Okay, so there are 3 videos up. If this is the first one you're watching, no problem, you can do them one after the other. It doesn't really matter what kind of continuity you have in them, but you want to do them preferably Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, something like that, right? So you have a little bit of rest in between. Obviously, go with your own schedule. Today we'll be focusing on the middle split. So how am I gonna get into my middle split? The first one was front split, and the next one is going to be an active stretch, because within the stretching, it's also super important to not only stretch, but also build a little bit of strength and go into active stretches. Before we get into this, I want to tell you that I'm actually hosting some live coaching days in November. You will find everything in the link down below, but I know that this physicality, this physical work we do with working out, with pole, with stretching is only one of 4 layers. So I don't know if you know, but I'm a feminine abundance mentor, and I'm super excited to bring this whole abundance, meditation, affirmation, law of attraction, really working with your body, with your cycle, working with the energy, cleansing your energy, allowing yourself to step into the vibration that's actually going to attract the life that you really want. Let go of limiting stories, of limiting beliefs, so that you're free to go into the life that you want and you deserve. So there are live coaching days. I will be going live within a Facebook group. It's completely for free, so you can join in now. The link is down below. So make this a community where we can support each other, where we can grow together, not only on this physical level, but also on the mental, in our spiritual, in our emotional selves. So share this with everybody you know could benefit from it, and let's just have a fucking great time, okay? Beautiful. So now that that's out of the way, we will start with a very nice and very juicy middle stretch. To get your start, I want you to do some cardio, to do some active mobility work before you get into these stretchings. There are a couple on my channel as well, but I really want you to be warm. I want you to be ready for these stretches, okay? A little disclaimer: whenever you feel like, oh my god, this is too much, this hurts so much, take it a step back. You don't have to go crazy deep into these stretches. It should be a little bit uncomfortable, but it should never hurt. Okay, so now let us stand up on our mat. You want to stand a little bit further than hip width apart with your feet out, just a little bit. From here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna move from left to right. And you're gonna feel that the more often you do this, the further apart you can take your feet, so that you are going to really feel a stretch, or at least feel a burn, and really feel a warming up happening within you here. Okay, so you can also take your hands as you grow lower, and just take 2 or 3, jumping up and down, pulsing up and down. So you are feeling into these little side muscles here. Okay, so they're called adductors. Maybe you know them from the machines at the gym. So start taking it even lower. Maybe you want to lift up your little feet here. And breathe into it. So now only take it as far as you can. Okay, only take them as far as it feels good and comfortable for you still. Beautiful. Now you see that your bum is almost on the floor. That's where you want to take it. All right, the next one, we're gonna stay on the right. So now wiggle around, see where you need it. I need to bring my foot a little bit closer. Your bum is not quite on the floor, but you want to stay here. Now, take hold of something if you want to. You don't have to. You can lean forward and backward a little bit. Really giving this part right here, your hip, an opening. Okay, bring your hand to the back of your knee here and push yourself out. So now maybe you will feel a little stretch in your side as well. Now the side muscles are also quite important for your splits. Like, take everything into account, yeah? Your back muscles, your hips, your butt actually plays quite a big role in your splits as well. Now, especially in your like side split, super important. I'll get to it. All right, take it to the other side. Let's do the same thing. You can wiggle back and forth a little bit here. Remember to breathe. And then bring that hand to the back of your knee. The same hand is going to push your torso away. Beautiful. So now you will feel, for me this feels really nice. And it actually feels like I'm creating so much space here in my hips. And remember to breathe. Awesome. Beautiful. Now bring your feet closer together. Hands on your mat, feet closer together. Bring yourself into a very low squat. Whew. Now do a little check-in. How does this feel? Does it feel very tight? Does it feel very stiff? You can rock front to back. And just like a tiny bit left to right as well. Nice. Take your right hand into the middle, place them so that your fingers are facing to the left. Bringing yourself up and over, bringing your torso, like twisting your torso so that it opens towards the ceiling, and bringing your hand up to the front as well. Nice. And release, other side. Breathe out as you come up. Beautiful. One more time on your right side. Reverse and left side. Oof. All right. Let yourself drop onto your bum right here. Now, we're gonna go into some passive stretching here, okay? But before we go into the passive stretching, I want you to actually feel into your hips. Now the problem with a lot of people is that their hips are very, very stiff and their hips are not opening. The reason, like, sit like this so that you already feel a little bit of a stretch, okay? And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about why we need our bums and butt strength in our middle split here. So sit like this so that you feel a little bit of stretch. And this is already so sit like this. This is already a passive stretch. But the reason why we actually need our butt stability and butt strength is that because when you want to go into any sort of stretch, our bodies are protecting us from, because when you want to go into stretch, your body is actually protecting you from overstretching. So if you're going into a stretch that you've never done before, so if you're doing a stretch that you've actually never done before, your body's like, no, this cannot be, okay? So now when you have muscle, your body knows, oh, when I'm gonna get into a stretch, I actually have the strength to bring myself out of it again. And now this comes in very, very handy with this middle split. Because when you grow the strength of your butt, your body's actually like, when you're in here, is like, I can bring myself out of it, no problem. So it allows you to open up your hips further. Now what I see a lot of times, and maybe you have this as well, that you cannot turn your hips inward, right? You cannot fold yourself. You're kind of sitting here and you're like, this is the furthest I can come. So basically the stretch is coming from your back and not from your hips, okay? So try this out to to build the strength in your butt a little bit more. And the next video is going to be about active hip flexibility. So this is training your hips, right? But also just going to the gym and doing some hip work, some butt work. Let me know if this is something you want to do. This is actually also something that I can go with you in depth in my one-on-one coaching. But yeah, now you know. So now, because you've been sitting here and did like a little analysis of your hips, right? Can I actually roll them forward, or am I kind of like stuck? When you're stuck, no problem. Try your best to doing it, right? Even micro movements are going to help you very much. And when you feel the stretch in any sort of like a different corner, then when I say it, or where I say it, it hits me, that's no problem at all. You simply start to notice where you need a little bit more work. Okay, let's go further. Let's take it a step further. Bring your hands towards the front where you can sit comfortably. So you have a little bit of weight on your fingers, not too much. Now, we want to isolate the hips. Bring your right hip forward and then backward again. And then your left hip forward and then backward again. And you will start to feel, ooh, actually, I can engage my butt muscle, right? Engage your left butt muscle, bring your hip forward, come back. Right butt muscle, bring it back. So really start to feel how it feels when you roll this hip forward, bring it back. Roll this hip forward, bring it back. Yay! Hip rotations, hip flexibility. Woo. I know this is not the nicest stretch. And also your middle splits is not the nicest stretch, because all of a sudden you start to realize how tight your lower back actually is, and your hips are, and your legs are, right? So let's continue rolling. Beautiful. One more on the right. Back. And one more on the left. And back. Good. Bring your hands forward just a tiny little bit further. And now I want you to round your back, like really round your back as much as possible. And breathing in, bringing your whole hips forward as much as possible. Remember, even if it's micro movements, just like a centimeter or something, that's perfectly fine. Round your back and bringing yourself forward. Let's do this a couple times and you will start to feel that with every breath, you will come deeper. Again, even if it's just the tiniest of bits, it's perfectly fine. Nice. And take it slow. There's no rush here. Nice. Bring yourself back up, walk back up. Now, if this is comfortable for you, see if you can take it a little bit further out. So you sit a little bit further in your middle split. Don't worry if it doesn't, you know, there's not really a progression, just a millimeter, that's perfectly fine. Nice, so bring both of your hands, like your right hand is gonna come to the right side of your right knee, and the left hand is going to come towards the left side of your left knee. And now try to turn your torso so that it's actually facing the leg. Now for me, this is really creating space here in my lower back, right? I can also feel it here, but just see where you feel it and take it to the level that you are comfortable with today. And breathe. With this more passive stretching, it's so important to breathe in, have a little bit tension within your body, and as you breathe out, just relax everything that you got within you, yeah? You breathe in, you reduce the stretch a little bit, and you breathe out, you gain a little bit more stretch. Nice. And if you feel like, oh, I'm sitting really uncomfortably, you can always close your legs a little bit further. Nice. So from here, wherever you're sitting, right? I'm basically in my middle split, but you can also just be sitting in this little V, like who cares? You're here to learn. From here, you want to take yourself down and up. It doesn't have to be a big movement. You just want to take yourself up and down. Beautiful. Nice. All right, let's hold it for just 3 breaths at the lowest point. And you can try to roll that back hip a little bit further towards the front. Breathing in, bringing yourself up. Ooh, you can shake it out a little bit if you want to. And then bring yourself towards the other side. Both hands at either side of your knee. So let's do the same thing again here. You want to really relax your hip, especially the one on the other side, right, on the opposite side. And with every breath in, you increase the stretch a little bit. And with every breath out, you release. So the breath out is kind of like this permission for you to go deeper. To tell your body, hey, it's actually safe being in this position. Look, there's nothing bad happening. Beautiful. Now lowering yourself down and bringing yourself up. It's not a big movement. Next time we'll stay down and just 3 breaths, holding it at the lowest point. You can rotate that back hip forward a little bit. Nice. Bring yourself back up. Both hands out and extended. And we'll simply try to reach our toes. So you can flex your toes now. And just try to reach your toes or anything that's possible for you. And with every time you lower yourself, you want to go a little bit deeper. Make sure that your hips stay on the floor. You're not lifting your butt up. Alright, so let's bring our legs together. Now do this very gently. And we'll come back into this position, don't worry. Shake it out, bringing your legs from left to right. kind of like this diamond shape and pull, right? Nice. Okay. So, one last thing before we go into the full stretch. Come onto your knees here. And you can decide which leg you want to do first, okay? But you want to have one leg just kind of like 90 degrees on your mat. If you need a pillow or something like that underneath, you can do that. The other foot is straight. Now you start here and you leave your foot out, right? It's going to lead you. You can bring your hands towards the mat and you simply want to let your foot slide down as much as possible with your toes sort of like pointed up-ish, 45 degrees angle. Okay, and you simply let yourself slide down as much as you can. For me, it's basically on the floor, but maybe you're here and you're like, whoa, this hurts already so much, okay? And then you just stay there. You just stay there and you breathe. You can also put yourself onto your elbows. Nice. So you want to kind of look that you have a 90-degree angle going on here to support your hip. Now if you're all the way on the floor or almost on the floor, you can also lay your head down if you want to. And same with the other stretch as well. You want to breathe in, kind of have a little bit, like the slightest amount of tension, and then with breath out, you release yourself even further down. Just a couple breaths here. I know this can be a very intense stretch, but it's such a good one. Such a good one. Nice. Let's do 2 more breaths. One more. Nice. So obviously, you can stay here as long as you want to, but I don't want to torture you. So with the help of your hands, bring yourself back out very slowly. We don't want to overdo it. And then wiggle out your hips. Beautiful. Now take yourself to the other side of the mat. And obviously we're going to do it with the other side as well. Beautiful. So put yourself on your mat. Your other side is going to slide out as far as you can, and then you're going to stay and you're going to hold it. Make sure to have a 90-degree angle in that back knee. And then breathe. Breathe in, slight tension, breathe out, release it all. Beautiful. Two more breaths. Nice. Very slowly bring yourself out of this. Ugh, this is the hardest part, isn't it? And then you want to come into sitting again. No, it's a lot of sitting today, right? Bring your feet together, the soles of your feet together, butterfly, take a hold of your feet with your hands and let them swing up and down. Ooh, really loosening everything that we've done so far. Yes. Right. Coming to a standstill with your left hand, you keep grabbing your feet. Right hand is going to you're going to put your right hand on your right knee and just push yourself away. Okay, now you really want to feel that stretch here in the side muscle as well. Turning your torso towards the ceiling and feeling into this. Beautiful. Nice. Release. Another side. Pushing your left hand into your left knee, making a lot of space between this knee and your shoulder, rotating your chest up towards the ceiling, and going into the side bend. Beautiful. Breathe. Awesome. Bring yourself back. And what you want to do now is you actually want to bring your feet quite far away from your hips. It's like a diamond shape, right? And from here, all you want to do is to simply let yourself fall over your feet, over your hips. Yeah, you can have a block here, you can have a pillow here, you can prop your fingers or your hands up into fists and rest your head on it here. Okay, so now you might feel like you want to bring your sitting flesh from underneath your bones and bring yourself back into position. Now this is a different stretch for your hips.
This life of time, we can be, it's all in our hands, it is all in our hands.
Amazing. Slowly walking yourself up, just leaning back for a second, shaking out that legs. How are you feeling? For me, it feels like my legs have just so much more space to move. Are you ready for the grand final? Okay, sit back onto your bum on your mat. Bring your legs out as much as possible. Again, it doesn't matter what level you're at right now, what it looks like. Doesn't matter. You're in your room on your own. Maybe you're doing this with friends. There's no judgment at all. So don't feel discouraged in whatever level you are at. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I'm so proud of you that you're actually here doing this workout and you want to progress. So props to you. So don't get discouraged when you see me already like, you know, being my full split. I train it for years. All right, so now the last one. You can take a pillow, anything like that, anything you need. If you feel like you're already like coming, you know, a little bit closer towards the ground. But what we're gonna try now is to just go into our middle split. Again, it doesn't matter where you're at. You simply want to get comfortable. You want to feel like, oh, there's some stretch happening. And then you want to walk with your hands towards the front, seeing if you can let those hips fold forward. If it's not working, that's fine. Just try to keep your back as straight as possible so that you can walk forward. And when you feel that your back is rounding, stay there. Stay where you feel that your back is still straight, and you're probably going to feel the stretch here again in your adductors and here at the back of your knees. that's fine, yeah? It should feel like a stretch, it should never feel like pain or super uncomfortable, you know, like a shooting pain. Then like directly, immediately take it back. Beautiful. Now, so walk as far towards the front as possible, trying to keep your feet pointed towards the ceiling. Now, they can be flexed, they can be pointed, doesn't matter, but you want your toes to be not towards the front, but you want them to look up. And from here, all you want to do is breathe. So take this sort of like Shavasana, where you don't have to do anything, you just want to let yourself fold and fall and flow into the stretch, okay? If you want to, you can wiggle back and forth a little bit. You can see if flex and point is feeling different. And you can also just let yourself fall and just like lie on a pillow or several pillows. Let's do that for a moment, shall we? Okay, that's it. Bring yourself very slowly back. This is intense, I know. Bring your hands back so that you're leaning towards the back, and then let those legs close themselves up on their own. Let's do the same thing. We'll roll it out. Oy, oy, oy. Nice. And you can shake them out as well. Beautiful. Okay, you guys, this was how to get into your middle splits. Let me know how you liked it. If you felt like this is, you know, helping you to progress in any sort of way. It's more of like not a super beginner, but also not an intermediate stretching yet. So let me know if this was kind of like your level. Of course, you can always adjust. So I didn't want to do a crazy beginner one because you are gonna do this for at least 3 months. Every single week. Better yet, 6 months, okay? So again, you can send me a picture or take a picture for yourself on how you are now on trying it the first time, right? How deep you can get in your middle split. And then take one after 3 months and take one after 6 months and one after a year, and you'll see that you have progressed so much, but only if you take this seriously and you do this every week. A stretching session at least 3 times a week, right? That's why I did these 3-part series of how to get into your split. So if you really want to progress, you're gonna do this, and I can help I can help you, I can hold you accountable if that's what you want. So reach out to me. Thank you so much for today. Shake it out, do anything you want to do. You can get into a pole workout now. All right, thank you. I'll see you next time with the active flexibility. Thank you. Bye bye.